This WAFLW live stream is proudly brought to you by Optus, proud naming rights partner of the WAFL, and WAFLW. Bupa, proud sponsor of WA football. And the West Coast Eagles, supporting WA female footballers to follow their dreams.
Are you ready? Ready to go? Are you ready? Ready for more? Are you ready? Ready for me? Oh my, oh my. Are you ready? Ready and now to keep going. And I can't stop. Are you ready? Ready for me? Oh my, oh my. Are you ready? Are you ready?
A very good afternoon and welcome to Claremont Oval. This afternoon, the WAFLW Round 5 clash, and two teams coming in to this one with identical records. The Claremont Tigers hosting the East Fremantle Sharks, both with a 2 wins, 1 loss record in the inaugural 2019 season. Claremont come in having won their last 2, a 3-point win over Peel back in round 3 and a 7-point win against Subiaco last week. And well, East Fremantle, they're coming off the bye. Their last win back in round 3, where they posted the biggest winning margin of the 2019 WAFLW season. That to the tune of 61 points over Swan Districts. Matt Chetches is my name. It's my pleasure to be calling all the action in this round 5 contest this afternoon. And joining me in commentary, Clint Degerbrock. Very good afternoon, Clint. Welcome to the call.
Oh, good day, Matt. Thanks very much.
And Emily Johnston as well to run an eye over the action. And a lot of the girls out there being affiliated with the Claremont Tigers. Emily, they are in good nick at the moment.
Yeah, great win last week, so hopefully can see them carry that momentum this week as well. Some
interesting matchups today. A couple of the best ruckmen in the competition going head-to-head. Clint, some of the key players in the clash for you today?
I'm very excited firstly to mention Lily Bird's 50th game is her debut from the 18s program, and of course on the other side too, making her debut from the 18s program too, is Isabella Lewis, known as Bella Lewis here at Claremont. I'm very, very keen to see Claremont's midfield to see if they can box the Sharks in. Just looking at O'Sullivan warm up down the front there. Carly Tapner's going beautifully, Sharon Wong. So big key. The big keys for me is can Versace be on the move at the stoppage? Because that's the difference. And I'll let Jono talk about Claremont.
Yeah, I think they will look to box them in there in the midfield. M. Bonza in the side with her second game, and Jazzy Stewart as well will be big in the middle. And of course having Paris Laurie there as well to feed it down. Hopefully they can get some work done.
Didn't mention Ashley Atkins out there too for the Sharks. So a couple of their AFLW stars ready to go today. They should be very quick, so Claremont will have to be very careful.
And the first time that these sides have met, albeit now we're in round 5, and we will run an eye over these teams in a little bit more detail just after these very short messages. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with the opening bounce of this round 5 WAFLW contest here at Claremont.
Ball. Don't you diddle, don't you daddle, you better skedaddle, they need to run for your life. Well, like Virginia Creeper, well, didn't want to keep her, just maybe for a while. You're the lady in a hurdle. Well, I feel that day.
Nature knows it's better to be part of a group than out on your own. To be surrounded by others whose sole purpose is to keep you safe and well. At Bupa, we call it Members First, a network of thousands of healthcare providers, all there for you. Search Bupa Members First.
Yeah, incredibly exciting. It's obviously a new chapter in my career, in my football career, but I'm incredibly excited to be here and a part of this football club, and I've been really impressed by the professionalism, the level of respect that they've treated me through this process, and I guess the core values that the club have. The product that we're producing now for AFLW has really grown over 3 years, but the next 3 to 5 years is going to be incredible, and some really talented girls coming through, and I can't wait to actually work alongside them. And I felt like I'd be a part of a family here.
If you need it live streamed, you need Front Row Screens. Visit frontrowscreens.com.au.
Welcome back to Claremont Oval. Matt Chechen's here in commentary this afternoon with Emily Johnston and Clint Degebrot. We're bringing you all the action of this round 5 contest between the Sharks and the Tigers. Emily, I'll hit you up. Claremont kicked straight last week against Subiaco, getting over the line. They had 3 less scoring shots, but Subiaco not putting it through the big sticks cost them late in the game.
Yeah, I think they worked on their defensive pressure for last week.
Yep.
And then they were able to do what Subi have done in the past and get it over the back and get it in nice and quickly into their own forward line.
Now, the Sharks coming off the bye, teams combined, Clint, this year are 0-3 coming off the bye, so you would think that teams would be fresh coming off that week's rest, but it's not showing that in the results.
They had a little bit of that a couple of years ago when the AFL started flirting with the buys, didn't they? It was almost a bigger curse as flying out of WA. It was a 2-loss ratio against the mighty Eagles back in the day, and when Freo were flying as well. I don't expect to see any hangover from the Sharks. They've been cherry ripe. They changed their training arrangements this week. So they trained Tuesday, Thursday. So last night was pretty much a normal rest ahead of the game day. I wouldn't expect any lag from the Sharks. I'm tipping the Sharks, but I don't see the bye affecting them negatively.
East Fremantle boasting the most potent forward line, Emily. They've kicked 23 goals through 3 games. Rue with 7 and Dan with 4 goals as well. They're going to have their hands full in the back half.
They certainly are, and that's something Claremont struggled with the last couple of years, is finding that forward that can be the avenue to go. Brooke White's been a key target for them, so hopefully she can get active, and then the small forwards as well in Bella Lewis and can help her out there a little bit as well.
As we're just having a close look at the Claremont huddle at the moment, the players about to disperse into position. It'll be the Sharks kicking to the right of your screen and the Tigers to the left here. And lovely conditions for football Saturday afternoon. There is a game on tomorrow and in the competition, and as we said,
9:15
yep,
in Mandurah.
Nice and early.
That's where I'll be at 9:15 tomorrow.
Not a late one then, Clint, tonight.
Not at my age.
So that will be Swan. No, that's next week. That'll be Peel Thunder taking on Subiaco. So an interesting game there before the general bye, which we'll get to throughout the call with the WAFLW All-Stars squad being announced earlier today on Facebook, the initial squad, Clint.
Yeah, they're very excited about both those teams, particularly 18s get a really good, solid hit out against the WAFL All-Stars in the first of 2 exhibition matches, with the second one being against Queensland on 20th of July.
All right, so the players just into position, waiting on the umpires.
There's
Jasmine Stewart just not sure where she's lining up here, so I think she's going to go into the...
And Emily Bonds has come off the field after finding a starting position.
It's a good strategy from De Loretta to play 17.
So there's the opening siren as we get this round 5 fixture underway. And it's going to be one down by Bowie off to the side of the pack. And they come crashing in. Good strong work there from Sharon Wong, applying the pressure there and forcing another ball up. Emily, we didn't get your tip today, but you might be slightly one-eyed.
No, I think East Freo have been the favourite team all year, and I think they will continue to be a good contest though.
So Laurie wins it down to no real advantage at the moment, as we're still waiting on our first clearance and a secondary ball up, as Jasmine Stewart can't extract the football.
I bought a bit of time with Chloe Colgate's little flick to the umpire then. The rugby pass went over the umpire's head.
Ball comes down, and again it's tight in the clinches in these early stages. The ball will spill out the pack, out towards Roden Zimdal. Kick around the corners long and high. That's the furthest forward either team has ventured. Bit of an awkward bounce there for the Tigers forward. It's going to be gathered there in defence from Inglis. She receives a bit of ground with a hand pass. I'm not expecting that one with the Claremont player. The crumbs swooped upon, but a little too hot to handle for Roden Zimdal. She's been active early. Again, just riding the bumps. Well done there from the Sharks play. Ball down at ground level, and they could be away now. So one bounce through the middle of the ground. Plenty of time and space. Goodwin Wissink sort of butchered her kick in the end, but almost fell to the advantage of a teammate. 2-on-2 contest here at right half forward. Good strong tackle laid by the Sharks defender, and we await no prior opportunity. Bit fumbly early stages.
Yeah, got lots of pressure early, and the umpire sort of put the whistle away. But that was Roxanne Rue tackling 18's teammate, Sophie McDonald, into the ground. So a little whisper in her ear too, just after she dropped her.
Yeah, we'd like to see that. As the straight hand pass out towards the line and out of play.
And just a bit early was Kate Inglis-Hodge at 18 years of age against Alana Dickey, who's not 18, just sweeping across half forward. Of course, she's a forwards coach for Claremont and playing on field too in that Luke Hodge role for Claremont.
As we restart, Laurie works her way to the front, taps it down with two hands. O'Sullivan couldn't gather that bouncing ball. Good strong tackling again from the Sharks, this time from Bowie. And O'Sullivan lying on the football, and they play Stacks on, and another ball up. So no team yet to enter inside their forward 50. Bowie tries to work her way under it, but Laurie just uses her experience, gains the advantage with the hit out for the Tigers. Again, strong work, and that affects the kick as it just clears the boundary line. That'll be out of bounds on the full. So Taryn Priestley has it. The interchange gates goes long and high. 2-on-2 contest. Front on pressure there from Bowie. Couldn't take the mark. Kick forward there from Claremont. That was Emily Bonzo, who's come back onto the ground after that mix-up earlier. O'Sullivan, can she gather? Not this time. Gives the good shepherd there for her teammate. Back in towards the middle. Well done there from Bowie again at ground level. Wrapped up in the tackle there from the Tigers was Urseg. Spun off it. And again, they come in from all angles. The umpire blows the whistle right as Katrina Tinson was about to break for goal. Ball comes back up. Laurie just elects to try and grab it straight out of the ruck, immediately sat upon. And again, another stalemate. As Bowie uses her body a bit better this time. Taking in a good tackle there was Gomes. Tell you what, the teams, by the looks of it, have been working on their tackling pressure throughout the week at training. Laurie won it down with the left hand. There's a free kick and there's a block, and it'll go the way of East Fremantle. And finally, we might have our first chance of inside 50.
Bowie is the best on the ground in the first 5 minutes.
I did foolishly say that she was one of the better rucks in the competition. No, not really. As the ball comes in, good spoil on the footy. Crumbs gathered now by the Sharks. This is Gomes. He's got time to operate. Hemmed in on the boundary. Looks to just do the team thing. Looks to set it up. Awkward bouncing ball for the Tigers defender. Trying to chase back on that is Wong. She gets corralled. Good tackling again from the Tigers. Can they withstand this first foray inside 50? And a stray hand pass sees it out of play, and the Tigers a chance to reset from the stoppage.
Good pressure there. Good to see Sharon Wong getting all around the ground. Was in the middle earlier and now down deep in forward pocket. I'm expecting big things from her today.
A really good sensible ball carry too from Gomes.
Ball comes in. Doing the ruck work now is Rue, the leading goal kicker of the competition. The Tigers get the clearing kick. It'll go outside 50. 2-on-1 favouring the Tigers. Kicking around the corner. That was great work there from Bird. Found a teammate in O'Sullivan. Pushed off her kick. No free kick down the ground, and the intercepting mark taken by Hongul. BOG last week in that win against Subiaco. Loads up. Brings it back towards O'Sullivan. Good, strong mark. She's a phenomenal athlete, Clint.
She's very busy. Never out of any contest. Never surrenders anything.
So off one step. Looks up towards the forward line in Rue. She was corralled. So chopped off by the Tigers. Bit of a hurried kick out towards the run of Tapner. She overran the football. Now can the Tigers build from half back? Good work in tight there from Roden Zimdal. Spun out of trouble. Kicked out towards that non-broadcast wing. The Sharks, again, just hunting in numbers at the moment. Chain of hand passes. This is Bowie. She's been very active early. Up towards centre half forward. Bit of composure there from the Tigers midfielders. It comes out. The left-hand hand pass coming out from the number 11 in Goodwin Wissink. And the Tigers, again, that's good pressure. Can it be rewarded with a free kick? No, said the umpire. They allow play to go on. Ball's brought back in towards the middle of the ground. Now a high kick. 2-on-1 favouring the Sharks. They get numbers to the contest. Now they could be out now, so the crumbs fall to Lodge. Lodge gives it off there to a teammate who kicks hurriedly up towards centre half forward. Trying to gather there is Metcalf. She can run and measure. She's got numbers over the top. Running in is Robinson. If the ball sits up, she might be able to get a snap-on goal, but she just runs out of tarmac in the end. And East Fremantle breathe a collective sigh of relief as Claremont looked to have been breaking early in this game over the top and finding a lot of space.
It's the first time they hit that inside handball. They've been dump kicking forward, so a lovely link-up play. Nice little basketball bounce to herself to Laurie.
A lot of ex-basketballers out on show today too. Claremont trying to manufacture a score. Kick around the corner is just going to register the minor score. So we've waited almost 7 minutes for our first score, albeit a minor one for the Tigers. No real advantage with the breeze out there today. Lovely conditions. And the Sharks bring it away. Well, that could be kicks left a lot to be desired. That's opened the door now for a player in Dickey to try and swoop, but she's taken in the tackle. Can the Sharks, with a bit of determination, try and repel this attack at the moment? Bit of a bouncing ball. Taking in a good tackle there was Dickey, and holding the ball. Incorrect disposal. So good work from the Sharks. Bit of run across full back now as the ball comes out. Kick won't find its intended target, and it'll be out of play. Broadcast wing. Ashley Atkins not being able to keep the ball alive.
Just got a touch on it though, so she avoided the turnover, and she's ripping fit by the look of her, Ashley Atkins.
So Bowie again looking to lock horns with Laurie. Won it over the back. The numbers favour the Tigers. Kick forward by Urseg up towards centre half forward. Mark not pay through the hands of White. They can still get a kick around up towards full forward. Copping a shocking bounce was Metcalf. Going back with the ball now is Lodge. Lodge dangerously handballs back towards full back. Good forward line pressure from Metcalf. Jarred the ball loose. Out towards the pocket. Good strong tackling there from Plushkey. And the ball somehow comes out, but they've got the goalkeeper roll. And the Sharks again withstand the attack from the Tigers. So still waiting to see if they can clear their defensive lines. In comes Colgate. She applies some good forward line pressure and goes again. Clever hand pass over the top now, and a bit of room to operate for the Sharks. And a weighted kick just pitches in front of the feet there of the leading player in Catherine Dan. And we still await our first goal of the afternoon. In fact, that ball is out of bounds on the full.
It's that last possession out of bounds there on that one. East Fremantle just couldn't quite get a touch on it.
So Lara Harris kicks up. Poor communication there from the Sharks. Trying to spin away out with Selby. Ball's jarred loose, and again they pile in, and no prior opportunity. So another stoppage.
And you can see Claremont's got their lovely, they've boxed in and they've kept East Fremantle out of the corridor at the moment. East will be looking to sort of generate some backfeed here and run, although they're having a bit of trouble defending their defensive 50 at the moment.
So thoughts of Clinton Degebrot and also Emily Johnston joining us. Thanks for joining in for this round 5 contest as Paris Laurie takes a good, strong contested mark, her first of the afternoon. And numbers out wide. Elects not to go there, so goes to the longest option and outnumbered. So poor option there from a more experienced player there, Clint, and turning the ball over.
Yeah, the runners on the wide side, I think Sophie McDonald probably would have crossed the 50 there. And from 47, she's half a chance, the youngster. Hockey background.
Paris just needed to, Laurie just needed to hold up there and wait for someone to come to her, but there was not a whole lot of movement from the forward, so.
East Fremantle back in numbers too.
Leaping up high was Rue, won it down to the front of the pack. The ball's going to be sharked by Bonza. Snaps around the corner for our first major. That was superb. Really a goal out of nothing, and Bonza just burst through the pack.
That was bizarre. There was hardly anyone around that throw in there.
Literally,
there was literally just the rucks.
Yeah,
and
a goal
Bonza.
out of nothing. Emily Bonza, and what a great addition she's been. Well, she will be this year, coming over from Swan Districts.
Fantastic addition, and it's not just what she brings on field, but her off field, the way she works very hard. She's obviously supremely fit, and she's into the vice captaincy already in her first season, so it's really good to see her out there, and she's really making an impact at Tigerland.
Claremont really organised, and East Fremantle uncharacteristically fumbly in the sort of back 25.
East Fremantle started a bit stronger, but I think the pressure there just a bit too much for them, and just rushed it out of defensive 50 before.
So the Tigers first to cash in. How will the Sharks answer? As Roxanne Rue moved onto the ball now. Kicks up towards centre half forward. Could have been a free kick there for the Tigers, but they allow play to continue. So kicked out wide, out towards the lead of Robinson. Gathers, shirks 2 tackles, onto the left foot now. Up towards the 2-on-1. That one there was Selby. That was well done. In fact, that hand pass left a lot to be desired. Strong tackling again from East Fremantle. That was from Rue. Here come the Tigers. Numbers back now for the Sharks, but they hand pass to a flat-footed player who can just get it onto the left boot. That was Selby, and that resulted in the turnover. So the Sharks just rushing it a little across half-back. Here come the Tigers again. Back inside 50. No clean marks taken. Bit of run now off half-back as they kick up towards the middle of the ground. That's misguided. And onto the chest of the Tigers defender. And plenty of numbers coming out wide, but the player looking into the sun at the moment. Umpire says get on with it. Kicks up towards Laurie through her hands. Crumbs at the back now. That's going to be gathered by Stewart. Runs to 52. Onto the left. Great vision. Lowered the eyes. There was a vacant goal square, Clint, but she just managed to just peel off the kick just another 20 metres. And that was the right option at the moment. And the difference between the two sides in their ball use. And
that's Jasmine's probably 5th or 6th possession, that little passage of play. But Chloe Metcalf just coming at the foot, which she does so well. One of the best players at it in the competition. Getting that neat little one on the chest due to Jasmine Stewart's lowered vision.
So bang in front, not much breeze to speak about. That's a lovely kick of the football. Plenty of distance, however, just hooking left.
I was going to say she's best lead up forward and she's got a nice long straight kick. I didn't say it.
You didn't curse her.
No. So all the scoring to the left of screen in the early stages as we're approaching 5 1/4 minutes remaining. So East Fremantle bring it in. High kick. Mark was dropped there by Rue. And that's going to allow the Tigers to apply a bit of pressure in the forward line, but the Sharks managed to clear. Up to a 1-on-1. Good strong mark taken by Orm. Sat under the football and looks to just square the play now. Good vision. Spots a teammate now in Scandretti. She gives it off now. There's plenty of run for the Tigers. They're looking the more composed team, but that's a very good mark in defence from the Sharks. Now they're going to leave the high hanging kick, but it's well weighted onto the chest of Wong. So Wong wastes no time. So East Fremantle, this is better now. It was just this kick coming out of 50 that's really cost them. So now off to the run of Gomes. Gomes has got plenty of space in front of her, but well tackled. Just manages to get through that tackle. Kicks up towards the teammate in Catalano. What can she do? Busts through, but the ball didn't come back to her as she bounced it. Just gets the hand pass away. Tigers trying to get numbers. This is O'Sullivan. Gathers for 50. Vacant square, but that kick won't travel the required distance, and the Sharks getting plenty of numbers back. And they managed to repel another Sharks attack, but better science, Clint, this time from the Sharks.
This could slingshot because Claremont are out the back twice here. That's a good cover by Roxy Rue, otherwise it would have been an easy connect. So maybe delay them a little bit, but Claremont had loaded up here.
Kick up towards Stewart, but it didn't get there for her, and the Sharks again. Bit of a hurry kick, an awkward bouncing ball, trying to gather now the Tigers, one way then the other. They've got plenty of time out in this near side, but an interesting kick. Just looking for space, trying to gain a bit of territory. If the ball can sit up perfectly. Again, good strong tackling, this time from the Claremont player in Lewis. 2-on-1 tackle there. They're hungry, the Tigers, at the moment, and they bottle it up. Is their prior opportunity? No.
Have to mention they're both the first gamers there from the 18th program, Lily Bird and Bella Lewis. Lily Bird's had a couple of touches, but great call from you two earlier, Matt. East Fremantle loading up that speed and taking a tear off it. Lovely.
So Rue on the second bite, kick partially smothered. Interesting bounce there for Bonza. Couldn't gather this time. Well done, O'Sullivan. A little of a no-look hand pass out towards the wing. Taking in the good tackle there was Katrina Tinson. They look to bring it in towards the corridor. How will it bounce? It sits kindly for Claremont. That was Orm taking a good tackle now. This is Roden. Roden out towards the boundary line and out of play. So Emily, been impressed with the tackling pressure at the moment.
Yeah, it's been huge. And Bella Lewis down their first game, and she's just mauled someone. And she's not a big body as well, but it's good to see her doing what she can.
And both teams not taking a step back as Rue wins it down. Back to Wong. Looks to try and step inside. That was well done. Kicked up towards the contest. Again, the Tigers standing up in the middle of the ground. Trying to gather that ball there with Scandretti. Good secondary effort. This is Roden now. Roden swings it out wide now. Off to the run of Alana Dickey. How will the ball sit for her? Converging on her is Atkins. Well done, Atkins, who won that one-on-one contest and has now opened the door slightly for the Sharks. However, again, poor execution of skills And they just fumble in the middle of the ground. So the Tigers hand pass out the side door. This is McDonald on the left boot, kicking up again to another one-on-one contest. Great spoil on the football and the secondary Shepherd as well. So a ball to be won at the moment. A big collision right there between Timpson.
And that was Urseg. That was Brooke Urseg
and
down
Urseg
there.
as well, but the Sharks are away now through the agency of Catalano. Catalano, beautifully weighted kick. The umpire says play on. Good strong tackle there from Colgate. Jarred the footy loose. Trying to recede a bit of ground is Hongle. She kicks up towards centre half forward, going back with the flight of the ball. Just couldn't get there in the end. So a hurried kick out now. This is Tinson. Tinson, a long kick around the body. Could be fortuitous, but they dropped the mark there was Catalano. Again, good work there from Hongle, and she's standing up well across half back at the moment. So another chance for the Tigers. This is Priestley playing the 1-2. Priestley goes in, lays a strong bump on Roden Zimdal, and she's stayed down. Ball comes down to the hands of the Sharks player in Rue off one step up towards the pocket. Free kick, hold, and it's going the way of the Sharks. Clint, some big collisions here on this broadcast wing.
I think East Fremantle just making sure that when Nikki Harwood gets down there that she appreciates their effort. They just lifted their physical rating. Claremont matched, just worked through the space really well, East Fremantle.
So Sprylan, interestingly, kicks to about 30 out from goal, not electing to go to the goal square. So Tigers with time and space look to repel this last attack. We're inside the last 30 seconds of the term. Lodge manages to gather. Kicks around the corner. Still time for the Sharks. Sprylan, can she get it going for the Sharks? She can't. Ball still at ground level. Kick clear now, and surely the Tigers should be able to withstand this. In fact, here come the Sharks. So one last chance. You'd think they need a mark there. And good, strong, courageous mark. Going back with the flight of the ball. Was that Stewart? And 50 metres paid as well.
It's going to need another one.
And there is the siren. And that concludes one of the more physical opening terms of the 2019 WAFLW season. And the Tigers doing all the scoring, but the Sharks leaving a few Tiger bodies on the floor late in that first term. Jono.
Yeah, a few massive hits in that last few minutes. It's good to see Brooke Urseg back up on her feet, and she seems to be fine. She does tackling practice at the family farm on the sheep, so I think she'll be okay with that one.
So quarter time, the Tigers 1-8, leading the Sharks yet to score. Clint, your summation very quickly of the first term.
I loved Orm, Leah Urseg, Bonza and Stewart for Claremont playing beautifully through the back half and mid. Orm's been a real anchor for them, and she's given them the control of the width of the game. Bird O'Sullivan, Bowie Gomes have forced to doing a lot of work in the defensive half to make sure that East Fremantle stay alive. Expect East Freo to get a kick in the bottom in this and come out firing.
Yeah, and they've just been fumbling the ball in crucial areas, particularly in the middle of the ground, allowing those on balls from the Tigers to repel sort of and that rebounding off 50.
So Tigers want to box the game as much as possible. They've actually used a bit of East Fremantle game plan here because they've used their speed to run through the front of the box, which has been beautiful. But if East Fremantle fumbled, it allows Claremont to round them up and create the box that they're after. So once East Fremantle clean their hands up, Claremont won't be able to set up as effectively. But it's all claps to Claremont, the way they structured the whole ground.
Yeah, and you see East Freo, when they are clean, they move the ball so quickly. So if Claremont can keep bottling them up and winning it on the other side and using it, and a bit ineffective there with the ball in their forward line for so long and only getting the one goal out of it, but they just need to hold East Fremantle here. And like you said, Deggers, as soon as they clean their hands and get a bit cleaner, this game could open up.
The pressure, Claremont keep the pressure on. East Fremantle might not get the chance to clean their hands up. And Claremont actually, I think I've already said it, they played a bit of an East Fremantle Sharks game as they looped the ball through the corridor and ran across the 50.
So just having a closer look at the huddle there of the Tigers, and a few players receiving a little bit of treatment. We saw some big collisions and statements of intent from the Sharks behind on the scoreboard, but a couple of the bigger bumps that you'll see, Clint, on this broadcast wing to conclude that term.
Yeah, they'll be on the highlights reel, I'd imagine, for the rest of the season.
It's
great to be back in the West. I've obviously been over in Sydney for a couple of years, and to be home in the nice weather and even better in the blue and gold is fantastic. Yeah, I was an inaugural part of the Giants squad in the first year, so been over there for the last 3 years and I guess experienced what it's like to be part of a new team and building something from the ground. So we've got time now, we're in the competition, we can build towards something really special, and I think that comes off the back of the first couple of years and just creating somewhere that everyone wants to be and play some good footy.
Nature knows it's better to be part of a group than out on your own. To be surrounded by others whose sole purpose is to keep you safe and well. At Bupa, we call it Members First, a network of thousands of healthcare providers, all there for you. Search Bupa Members First.
If you need it live streamed, you need Front Row Screens. Visit frontrowscreens.com.au.
It's a high ball.
Don't you diddle, don't you daddle, you better skedaddle. May need to run for your life. Well, like Virginia creeper, well, didn't want to keep her, just maybe for a while. You're lately in a hurdling. Well, I feel that day.
Welcome back to Claremont Oval. Quarter time here, the round 5 contest between the Tigers and the Sharks. The WAFLW competition and a physical opening first term here that sees the home side Claremont leading the Sharks 1-2-8 to no score. As we have a look at some of the highlights, Clint, and some of the better ball use from the Tigers. Mind you, that's probably not the best highlight that we've seen, but we just noted then that first term that the Sharks really over-fumbling the ball in the middle of the ground.
Yeah, Ellie Lamb can coach as the back six. Yep. I'd imagine she's gone down there and just calmed them all off. She's played a lot of footy at the highest level possible, so I'd imagine her message would have been nice and calm. Webbo won't be shouting at the players, but she's certainly demanding the girls to put their head and shoulders over the ball.
It's been a whirlwind start to the 2019 inaugural season, Clint, but next week we take a breather or a pause briefly in the season's program and turn our attention to the WAFLW All-Stars taking on the WAFLW 18s team. Tell us a bit more about that.
Well, the clubs were able to nominate their non-listed most draftable players at each footy club, and of course that includes South Fremantle, West Perth, East Perth and Perth as well. The clubs put in their nominations, the Eagles through Trent Cooper and Darren Fry. The Fremantle Dockers through Trent Cooper and Darren Fry, and the Eagles through Luke Dwyer and Adam Selwood. And the talent team at the Footy Commission went through and picked the two strongest teams possible, with the real focus on the second team being a real state representative game, second game being a state representative game. Fantastic, ideal hit out for the 18s. They start their round 1 game on Friday versus Queensland here in Perth at Subiaco Oval.
It's obviously beneficial for that team, but also a showcase of some of the young talent coming through the local competition as well, obviously.
Oh, it's a fantastic way for the girls that have got aspirations to express show their ability and showcase their talents on the main stage. We'll get it recorded and promoted, and it should be a fantastic opportunity for all players.
All right, there is the signal as we start the second term. A little bit of work to do from the Sharks, but by no means out of the contest. So Valentini, haven't seen much of her this afternoon. Off to the teammate, wrapped up in a good tackle from Tinson, and earns the free kick for holding the ball in. Correct disposal. So looking to bring it out wide, and a kick over the head there of Priestley. She's got 2 Tigers to beat. Does well with the buttering up tackle and goes again as well. Just managing to get through was Bonza, the only goal kicker of the afternoon. Plushke overran it. Priestley, did she drop the football there? No, said the umpire, so out of play.
And a little back flick from Leah Urseg there, wasn't it, to the advantage of
questionable
Bella
back
Lewis.
flick.
Umpire on the wrong side, of course.
And not a good 20 metres up in the air like we are here at Claremont Oval. Matt Chechen's here alongside Emily Johnston and Clint Degebrot. We hope you're enjoying this call, the round 5 action, and a high tackle. And it'll go the way of Claremont, looking to add to their scoreline pressure. This is Bonza, as we said, the only goal kicker this afternoon. That kick just getting to its intended target as Orm takes it off her shoelaces. So she'll go from the point of the centre square. That's a beautifully weighted kick, but the player leading out just failed to run onto the football. So that allows the Sharks to clear, only momentarily, as that mark will be paid to Paris Laurie. Far too far out to score, so looking for options in that pocket. Looks to load up. Off hands. Here comes Bonza. Runs to 50. Very, very tight angle. Elects to just kick up to a vacant square. Surely that's not going to bounce through all the way there and taken over. Would have been a miracle goal. She kicked a very, very impressive goal in that opening term, and that almost rolled through, Jono, for the second of the afternoon.
Yeah, she's the only one, I think, out there running through the stoppages and running through the play. And
it seems as though she was just trying to set that kick up, but if she maybe put the boot through it, she could have actually...
Yeah, I think she was trying to hit that player in the pocket, but it was a bit of a chance. Should have taken it.
So the Sharks now, this is Inglis Hodge. Moves the ball now onto the chest of Versace. Bonza trying not to give away the 50, raising her arms. As they just chip it around now, a bit of possession game. This is Bird. Now Bird has 2 options down this broadcast wing, and that's where she goes. She hangs it up high and well judged. Contested mark from Urseg. So Urseg has the option down the line. So both teams a lot cleaner now in their disposal. This is Bonza, her 4th disposal of this second term. That one probably not one of her best efforts. Claremont trying to stand up. Taking in the good tackle there was Dickey. Sharks with a bit of toe now across half-back. Tapner onto the right boot. Rather up towards Tapner, sorry. The Tigers again through Laurie. Kicks up to a 3-on-1. How will it bounce? Well, it takes a bit of a Shane Warne leg break back in towards the middle of the ground. Selby does well, but the blind hand pass is only going to go as far as Colgate. Colgate set upon, then threw the ball out. So that flick pass was spotted. Clint finally holding the ball.
I think when you do a basketball pass fresh up into the air, it makes it a little easier for the umpire.
And the kick up again towards Laurie. She's beginning to become a little bit more active. Versace bumped off the football. Tigers hunting in packs at the moment. This is Priestley. Transfers it now to a teammate who has to kick hurriedly. And another intercepting mark from Leah Urseg, who seems to be judging the flight of the ball well, Jono.
Yeah, it seems like Claremont is setting up quite well behind the ball there, so East Freo just keep kicking it to them, and East Freo aren't willing to change their line and go out the other side.
And it seems as though it's a bit of a kick-to-kick at the moment between half-back and the wing. And that ball coming out from O'Donnell. That mark should have been taken there by Catherine Dan, so the turnover is affected through the hands there of the Sharks defender, but it could roll all the way through. Tigers desperately try and get numbers to scramble back.
Oh, dangerous.
And the kick around the corner is just offline. I think there they dodge a bullet there, the Sharks, as the Brooke White snap misses to the far side.
Time. I think she had a bit more time than she thought, but you never know in those situations. The pressure's on, and yeah, unfortunate miss there.
So Tapner running out of the goal square, looks to clear a defensive line. Again, this is Urseg. Might do work in this second term. Good tackle from Laurie, jarring the football loose. Good strong work from Bonza, just paddling the ball, gets around to the right boot, just kicks around the corner and onto the chest of the teammate in White. So White marks. You would probably suggest too far out to score. There's a short lead in the pocket. It gets ignored there.
Actually need to get a post locked in here at the top of hotspot. That's what White would have been looking for.
And the contested mark with each other and onto the chest there of the teammate in Metcalf. So advances at 10 metres, but really reduces that angle. Take a special effort from here.
There isn't a single player on the other half of the ground in the forward 50. That's where I'd be standing.
So she's going back with intent. Here's Chloe Metcalf. Kicking from 40 metres, hemmed in the pocket. Awkward spinning ball. It'll be dangerous chaos ball off hands through for a minor score.
Going for the helicopter punt there.
So 6 scoring shots to none so far. And East Fremantle again dropping a basic chest mark and holding the ball. So well done there from Versace. She's come alive in this term as well. Very quiet in that opening quarter. Left half back. Peels a kick dangerously up towards Selby. Lost her feet. Hongel there on the scene. Strong work from her and no prior opportunity, another ball up.
Claremont's really squeezed up again there. Defensive U is right in the front half of the centre square.
Totally different game style in this second term. They're trying to play that more possession-based game. Clint, would you agree?
Yeah. And they're doing themselves a slight injustice as Versace gets this away, Matt.
Yep, in towards the middle of the ground, in towards a one-on-one. And players just shirking out of the contest. Catherine Dan does well, spins her opponent in that tackle. Again on the scene. And we'll have another stoppage just next to the bullseyes.
Will really frustrate the coaches to go across to the top of the 50 rather than go in, to be having all their leads shallow instead of to be able to go over the back.
Kick forward, long and high from Tapner. That one's a bit of a flare, off hands. O'Sullivan busts her way through. That ball was pinned to her and no prior.
Strong work from Garstone. Sharks haven't stretched the game out yet, but they love to be able to run across that 50 and kick longer.
Well done, Laurie. Just plucked the ball out of the ruck there. Pushed off the kick there was the Tigers play. Now, this is O'Sullivan. Can she spark something for East Fremantle? Not at this stage, and she's wrapped up brilliantly by Roden Zimdal, who took... Rather, it wasn't Roden Zimdal. She's got the ball now, but she wore one of those heavy knocks earlier in the late stages of that first term. That's a very good mark from Jasmine Stewart. Strong hands, goes with the left boot. Beautiful kick inboard to Orm. Now Orm had players streaming through the middle of the ground, but again, they go down the line to Laurie. Safe pair of hands. Tries to get around the player on the mark there. Maybe should have gone back to take her time. It's going to work out okay. So this is Urseg just kicking for territory, and the ball will tumble out. So they gain meterage, but again,
another shallow entry and trying to whisper behind to Jono. Just really shallow. Just really want to take that 45 kick there. But I tell you what, Leah Ursig is the most improved player in the competition. This competition didn't exist last year. Most improved player that played at league level last year.
Even this quarter, she's had a fantastic quarter and a great tackle down there as well.
I've got her down for 6 possessions already. So here come the Tigers. And the snap around the corner from Dickey towards that hot spot. East Fremantle trying to withstand this pressure again. Again, they're featuring their tackle in the back half.
Wouldn't mind seeing Dickey have a shot there. It's all well and good to do the team thing, but if you're in 30, you can kick 30 metres, so you may as well have a crack.
She's the forward coach too, so she's obviously trying to bring
players into the game.
Yes.
Do as I do, not as I say. Something like that. As the ball comes out, and again, it's going to be chopped off.
It's Urseg again.
And Urseg.
She's going to go shallow again.
7 disposals in this term. And again, they'll be kicking probably from the third time from this tight angle. This is Lewis. Lewis, that's better. Honours that short lead. And now opening up that angle and a good chance for Brooke White to go back and kick the second.
Bella Lewis has slipped into a nice little spot here.
So she goes back. She'll have to kick. She goes instead off 1 foot into a 2-on-1. The East Fremantle players down. We'll keep an eye on that. That was almost thrown out the side. Spinning through there was O'Donnell. Gives it off by hand to a teammate in Bowie. She was immediately set upon, but it works out okay for the Sharks. Up towards the broadcast wing. Laurie couldn't gather that rolling crumb of the ball there. Surely that's incorrect disposal, and is. So the Tigers win another free kick on this broadcast wing.
It was very neat by Sarah Garstone, but you didn't lay the tackle, mate. Well done, Paris Laurie.
So Laurie has it now. And now they look to just go a little bit more centrally rather into that forward pocket and chopped off.
Roxy Rue just deciding to roll back behind the footy there and just get some calm and solid work into East Fremantle's play.
Are the Tigers going to be content with that, Clint? The leading goal kicker of the competition, if she's taking marks there where she can't hurt them?
They're going to be, definitely. So Roxy's probably spending a bit of time in the ruck at the moment, though, so it's very good that she drops back behind the footy, and of course her tank and running ability can get her from back behind the footy to in front of the footy very quickly, but she's going to stay behind the footy in this case.
So the kick to kick on the broadcast side of the ground continues. Now finally they chip it in towards the middle, and they got numbers through the corridor if they can move it quickly, and Harris does so. So she's got the teammate, and again they look to just peel off another 15-metre kick. And this one's a good one to Hongel. Hongel's got more options, so the ball finally gets there.
It's very, very good running from the East Fremantle midfielders there just to slow that play up.
And again, the kick leaves a lot to be desired coming inside 50, and they can get the clearance now. That was Bird. Bit of a one along the ground. Hongel did well. Probably could have earned the free kick for incorrect disposal. The umpire's letting them play. Head over the footy there was Stewart. Stewart in turn now to Roden Zimdal, off to a teammate. They're back inside 50. How will they use it this time? Awkward bouncing ball now into the hands of Dickey. One way then the other. Slung in the tackle and jarred loose. And East Fremantle again. They are really repelling anything that the Tigers throw at them, Clint.
Catalano's been really, really good here just to delay their forward ball movement. As I say that, she just loses a one-on-one, but has corralled them really well with her speed and just trying to delay this rebound footy. But how many times have we got, how many repeat entries into 50 here, Jono?
I don't know how many chances you need, but I think Claremont just need to, they just need to settle down a bit. They worked the ball well in the middle a couple of minutes ago and it just fell down as soon as they tried to go into 50. They just need to hold on to it a bit more and maybe look for that one. I know as a forward you want it in nice and quickly, but you got to be in the right spot.
Rue won it down. Tigers again with numbers. Hand pass over the top. Can they muster something there? Bonds are taken without the football. The umpire's allowing them to play. Good work from Wong. Applied enough pressure and forces that ball up. So could have easily allowed Bonza, who's already kicked one this afternoon, to evade that. She did well to halve the contest. So it comes back up. And East Fremantle will try to clear once again. A bit of room to operate now for Versace. She'll kick in towards the corridor. 2-on-1. Going back with the flight of the ball was Harris. Couldn't take the mark. Now the Sharks might get something out of nothing. Great chase down and tackle. Holding the ball. That was superb work, Clint, from Sophie McDonald. A great chase.
Yeah, just put her head down, didn't she, and had a crack. Probably slowed herself up a little bit with a bounce, Lily Bird, but she had no options further of play, so a dump kick would have been a turnover anyway.
Brooke Hongle kicks down the line. Over the top now into the hands of Colgate. So Colgate getting very close, running out of tarmac, looks to centre the ball. How will it bounce? It sits kindly there for the Tigers player. Showing a little bit to the opposition there was Dickey, just getting right foot to the ball. Tumbling up towards the teammate. He can have the shot around the corner, and finally, Brooke White kicks the second of the afternoon. And finally, Jono, they're reaping some of the rewards for those repeat entries.
Yeah, Chloe Colgate there she had the option in 10 metres in front of her in the pocket, but opted to go towards the middle, and that just opened the ground up and they weren't stuck in that corner again and didn't allow East Fremantle players to get back and clog in those holes.
And Dickey's kick too was just a little run along the ground there just to stay alive, to see what would happen. Of course, White very clever on the end of it.
So 13 minutes we waited for our second goal in this term of the afternoon. And the Tigers now move to 2-5-17. The Sharks barely showing any bite at the moment, particularly going forward. So Claremont.
Emily Bonds has got Sophie McDonald wrapped up in a hug and whispering instructions in her ear. She's going to be opposed to her State 18's teammate in Rue, and we've got a fairly A-grade midfield right now. Love to see Versace come off the back on the fly here. I know most coaches don't like the fly, but just to get some real hard-running movement off this stoppage.
And they need to mix it up at the moment because the game plan's not standing up, particularly going forward for the Sharks. So the ball comes up, thumped forward by the number 15 in McDonald. Tries to butter up. And Versace, did she take the play without it? She did. So a free kick going the way of the Tigers, not what the Sharks needed.
Had the run of it, but Sophie, after the ruck tap, just was able to cover off nicely.
So McDonald moves it out wide into the shadows of the apartments here at Claremont Oval. Good sprawl on the football, rather a smother on the football there. Can the Sharks finally try and get something going forward? That was a questionable disposal, and the umpire right on the scene. So they turn it over again, the Sharks. So Orm brings it out wide. Let's see what's happening further afield. Offering the lead now is White, the last goal kicker, through her arms. Bit of tunnel ball there. Going back to the primary school days, green and red faction. Doesn't pay off this time. Mopping up now was O'Donnell. Gives it off to a teammate. Very long and high kick out towards the one-on-one contest. The one there for the Sharks is Spryland. Numbers eventually in support. Here come the Tigers. Good fake there from Versace. She's really had a good second term. But this is about as far forward as the Sharks have got in this term. So they're standing up, the Tigers. Bit of a check side kick there from Scandretti. The umpire says play on. Well, that could have been a throw, and it is. So seeing a lot of the holding the ball decisions in this second term, and that's a testament to the tough tackling we witnessed in that first term.
I think the umpires are up and about too. Their calls are quick, loud, and very, and they're just umpiring the game exactly how it should be umpired.
Yeah, it's a perfect job at the moment. So what can the Sharks muster up? This is Spryland trying to just hand pass to herself. Does well to get the left boot to it. So the Sharks finally inside forward 50. Could be repelled, but putting the head over the footy there, the Sharks player. Now snap out of nowhere. May have bounced through.
think it might have hit the post.
And we'll
Still
wait on
in.
the goal umpire. It is through. It's a goal.
I think that was Gomes that kicked that
Yep. So
snap.
Ashley Gomes, that literally, if we thought Bonza's goal come out of nothing in the opening term, that one definitely did, because that was their first forward 50 entry, Clint, of the term, probably to about 30 from the Tigers.
I'm getting older. I thought that hit the post and bounced back into play, but he's a fair bit closer than me, the goal umpire. Yeah, really good play by East Fremantle. They love to stretch that game out quickly. It's the first time they've been allowed to. Claremont did try to rally them up, but then they were drawn to the ball. Just left Gomes. He just had enough space just to get a little right footer on it. 7
scoring shots to just 1 in the waning moments of this first half. Just 1.5 minutes remaining, and surely Di Loretto might be losing a bit of hair over that one because they've controlled the game.
Well,
Lucky he's got plenty.
He's got magnificent hair.
Ball comes up, back in towards the middle of the ground. I tell you what, if the Sharks can get another one here, it'll be game on in this second half. Versace kicks up towards centre half forward, out the side to Gomes. Gomes is going to be set upon. Oh, well done there, but just overran it was Hongle. Out towards Priestley, but Hongle did brilliantly. That was a clean pickup. Kicks up towards the wing. Will it stay in play? Not this time. Pitching at the feet there of Lewis.
Love
and
to see.
50 seconds remain in this second term.
Love to see Lewis get a jumper duty there with a diving catch, just rather than waiting for the easy bounce up.
So the Sharks get very close to that player on the mark. And another chest mark drop. Here come the Sharks now through Rue. Pumps it forward. Still time for the Sharks at the moment. Now they could be out here because there's a bit of a one-on-one in towards the middle of the ground. How will the ball float? Great spoil on the footy from Orm. That was superb. Still trying to track that bouncing football. Grabbed hold of her opponent there in Tapner. The umpire didn't see it, so Tapner wins that contest. Kicks around the corner, looking for the intended target of Dan. Now she's going to run out of space there in the pocket as we enter now the last 10 seconds, and probably needed a mark and a quick kick there, Clint, to try and get another score before quarter time.
Yeah, or either that or Claremont Harris just chests that one there, and the game's a lot less stressful for the Tigers. But you're right, yeah, that long kick in would have been nice to neat little catch. Although Ash Atkins pulled it beautifully, could have bombed to space and turned it over, but did see, was it Tapner forward of the footy there, and just pulled it across in front of her path.
So that is half-time, round 5 here at Claremont Oval, and a little bit of a fight back from the Sharks. They left it late to record their first major of the afternoon. At half-time, it's the Tigers 2 goals, 5-17. East Fremantle 1 straight. Still in this contest, just 11 points the margin. When we come back, we'll have all the action of this second half, round 5, and a game that is clearly up for grabs. We'll be right back with all the action very shortly.
Nature knows it's better to be part of a group than out on your own. To be surrounded by others whose sole purpose is to keep you safe and well. At Bupa, we call it Members First, a network of thousands of healthcare providers, all there for you. Search Bupa Members First.
People telling me I wouldn't make it gave me all the motivation I needed. I was lucky enough to be picked up as one of the first ever AFLW players for the Eagles, and I just can't explain it. I can't explain the feeling. It was an absolute dream come true. How involved everyone is, how accepted and how equal the club is. Not even just this club, it's the footy community that's just a family, and that heartfelt feeling of, you know, you're here and you belong. I'm honestly so excited to get started, so bring on 2020.
There's a high ball. Don't you diddle, don't you daddle, you better skedaddle. You need to run for your life. Well, like Virginia Creeper, well, didn't want to keep her just maybe for a while. You're the lady in a hurdle. Well, I feel that day.
If you need it live streamed, you need Front Row Screens. Visit frontrowscreens.com.au.
Welcome back to Claremont Oval. Half-time of the round 5 fixture between the Claremont Tigers and East Fremantle. 2 goals, 5-1 straight. That one straight for the Sharks coming very, very late in the piece. Some of our highlights from what has been, Clint, a very physical game, almost a rugby flick pass there from the Claremont player, but in the first term particularly, players not taking a backward step.
I loved it. It's been really physical. It's been up in the face, 16 aside. It's exactly what the competitions are designed to do. They're running hard, they're free-flowing, and as you said, you've pointed out a couple of times in the call, ball use by Claremont a little better, but intent from East Fremantle just as good as Claremont's, just Claremont more efficient. So it's a very close to a high-skilled game. I think just that pressure is just causing a few fumbles.
As we just have a look there, one of the better players in the comp, O'Sullivan, getting wrapped up in a very good tackle from Urseg, who came alive, Jono, in that second term.
Yeah, Clint said it earlier. She's most improved over the off-season. Her and her sister just are at foot. They live and breathe football, and they travel 40 minutes to get to training, but they're always at training an hour early and do the extras. So it's great to see her having a great game, and she has been almost a difference. She chopped off about 4 in a row and later a fantastic tackle in the back half as well. So it's really good to see her getting it and using it well as well.
A couple of outstanding goals. Firstly, Brooke White, the second goal kicker. She came alive in that second term. Clint was a good forward target. However, their shallow entries inside 50 may come back to bite them.
Yeah, we talked about that. And it's one of the bigger frustrations that, you know, if we're calling Launchpad the area between the centre square and the 50, it's okay to connect there one on none. And then what happens after that is if we can get a little lateral connection into that area, then we go in. At the moment, they're trying to connect at 47 and 52, and it's the turnover zone. It's a really coach killer. So you've either got to connect in front of the defence of East Fremantle, and then you have to go long over in, or you've got to run to the defence and kick it in. Either way, we'll put it in Brooke White's path.
Have a look at that goal that was snapped around the corner, clearly bouncing just over the line there from Ashley Gomes. Clint, I'll throw it to you. What do the Sharks need to do in this second term to try and get a bit more run, a bit more spark going forward?
I think you can catch. So I think they need to get the ball in the chest. It really started well that second quarter with the tackle turnover in the middle of the ground. Then they needed to slide it over to the work in the ground. So I think a bit of patience, a bit of just kick it, catch it, 45s and laterals, and just let the game open up so they can burst forward.
Some of our better highlights of this round 5 fixture. Well, don't go anywhere. We're going to be right back with the action in the third term. In the meantime, let's have a look at some of the wonderful volunteer work going around the WAFLW program.
Congratulations on making it. It's a big achievement to make it to the finals.
Winning the 2018 Volunteer of the Year award, it was really humbling at the time. It was something that I didn't for one moment think that it was something that I deserved, but in hindsight, the number of people who came up to me afterward and recognised the amount of work that I'd done in junior football, especially over a long period of time, it was quite overwhelming and quite satisfying. Being in the grand final parade was, a once in a lifetime experience. Myself and the other volunteers of the year from the other states, we were walking through the crowd, and it didn't matter who the crowd was supporting, they were actually cheering for us and for what we had done.
We're about 5 minutes away. The umpires are just changing, okay? So you might want to warm your boys up before lining up.
The Optus Volunteer of the Year award, it recognises all of the volunteers that exist in junior football. I hear it's somewhere around 40,000 people to make junior football run in Western Australia. We have coaches and team managers and boundary umpires and people cutting up oranges, and all of that goes towards enabling the kids to be able to have the best opportunity that they can to enjoy our great game.
Well done, guys. Great job.
I'm a school principal, and as a school principal, one of the things that I try to encourage in all of the kids at my school is to volunteer. It's something that you'll get more out of than you put into. Having Optus and the Sunday Times supporting community football is just really instrumental in making sure that there's value put in volunteering and value put in junior football. For all of those people who are out there thinking it might be too hard, don't sit back. Be one of those people who gets out there and supports those who are trying their best to do what's best for the kids in footy.
Claremont, the WA Volunteer of the Year, and doing fantastic work in the WA football community. And make sure that you nominate yours, thankavolunteer.com.au, and the nominations for that will close on the 26th of July 2019. The game and any sport particular in WA functioning and relying so much on our wonderful volunteers. So congratulations there to Mark Brooks. We'll be right back here at Claremont Oval very, very shortly. Just 11 points is that margin. It's the Tigers clinging on.
Nature knows it's better to be part of a group than out on your own. To be surrounded by others whose sole purpose is to keep you safe and well. At Bupa, we call it Members First, a network of thousands of healthcare providers, all there for you. Search Bupa Members First.
If you need it live streamed, you need Front Row Screens. Visit frontrowscreens.com.au.
It's a high ball. Don't you diddle, don't you daddle, you better skedaddle. You need to run for your life. Well, like Virginia Creeper, well, didn't want to keep her just maybe for a while. You're the lady in a hurdle. Well, I feel that day.
Yeah, incredibly exciting. It's obviously a new chapter in my career, my football career, but I'm incredibly excited to be here and a part of this football club. And I've been really impressed by the professionalism, the level of respect that they've treated me through this process, and I guess the core values that the club have. The product that we're producing now for AFLW has really grown over 3 years, but the next 3 to 5 years is going to be incredible, and some really talented girls coming through, and I can't wait to actually work alongside them. And I felt like I'd be a part of a family here.
Half time as the umpires make their way back onto Claremont Oval. Deep shadows now starting to engulf the playing surface. Not many goals to talk through, but let's have a look at the 2019 ladder. The Sharks currently sitting atop of the tree with Clint, a very impressive percentage at the moment. We said that they're the most potent forward line team, kicking 23 goals coming into this one, but a percentage of 227 is setting them apart from the rest of the competition.
Yeah, off the back of that really big win against Swan Districts, which probably sparked Swan Districts' following game. A little bit embarrassed about that one, but East Free are just too good on the day. Swan just caught Swans napping. Subiaco being the surprise package for me. They've played the 16-a-side game the best, the earliest, and they've immediately started to turn their list over.
And taking on the, at the moment, the Cellar Dwellers Peel Thunder tomorrow in a game that you'll be down in Mandurah very bright and early in the morning. How do you see that game panning out?
Oh, I'm a bit worried about Peel Thunder against Subiaco, just in this one because Subiaco's just a little bit angry after last week. Peel hopefully can just keep the faith. They've got a very, very young list there. Average age is 19 compared to Subiaco's, which is 26. So it's just a matter of those young fellas just holding their cool against the very, very experienced Subiaco side.
So Peel, the only team yet to register their first win of the season. And as we said, East Fremantle in the pre-game show, Jono, looking to break a bit of a hoodoo because teams that have come off the bye haven't won so far this year. 0-3.
The only one was Claremont had the bye in the first round and then won the following week. So that's, I think, the only one. But yeah, I think East Free will come out firing in this second half. They've struggled to settle in this game and control their possession, and they haven't played the game on their terms. We saw it a little bit at the end after that goal, and they immediately got back in their forward 50. So they'll come out firing, and I'm sure they'll be ready to have a massive step up.
Should the Sharks not get over the line, that stat will be squashed anyway, because you haven't looked. We've got the general bye next week. We've already touched on that, and then we'll go back into round 6, and it'll be Swan Districts taking on Peel Thunder, and then Subi taking on Claremont. So the game's coming thick and fast at the moment as the Sharks make their way back out onto the ground, getting a very late goal in that second term through the agency of Ashley Gomes. Some of the better players so far in this opening half for you, Jono, for Claremont?
I think we've mentioned her name a few times, but Leah Urseg has really stepped up and been immense. Kate Orms just controlled the play for Claremont and structured up behind the ball. I'm sure Clint has a few East Fremantle players that he's had his eye on.
Yeah, I thought Bird got up and going. O'Sullivan was good. Bowie from the first quarter as well, just a little quieter in the second. Gomesy very busy ahead of her goal. Then Versace started to get a bit of ball going. But the key for me was Priestley just started to get her hands on it, and Adkins just started to look dangerous as well. But I think equally matched by the fact that Paris Laurie woke up over for Claremont as well. A couple of tackles and a mark, and probably the best ruck tap this season. Just pulled that one just on the wing here down lovely to advantage. So that could just help keep Claremont in front.
Yeah, and Emily Bonds' influence as well, and having Jazzy Stewart as well. So Paris Laurie, she's got options there in the middle, and if one of those two is at her feet, then I think they'll be okay in terms of clearances.
As we're just having a look at some of those highlights in that second term, and a couple of, one outrageous goal, as we said, kicked by Ashley Gomes, giving the Sharks a little bit of a sniff heading towards half time, and some more great examples of just how tough tackling and hard at the ball both teams have been today. Right on there was Plushke.
Probably haven't mentioned Plushke. She's been really good down there. She's cleared the ball long and she's been very physical. Shay Selby too, wearing the number 8 jumpers. South Fremantle product, playing her first league game here at her I guess it's her new league club in terms of the WAFLW. It's nice to see her get her hands on the footy. Veteran of the competition, the previous competition, so it's nice to see those names stamping themselves in the new one.
Couple of debutantes today.
Yeah,
Clint, have you saw their progress so far?
I've really liked. I think Jono's liked the bullocking work that Bella Lewis down the front has done. She's not afraid to tackle anyone. I think you caught her a couple of times here, just under our commentary box, just really putting some big tackles on some older players. I think it's Lily Bird that's really got back behind the football well. She hasn't got back and weighted back though. She's actually attacked the corridor, and it's nice to see. She got run down holding the ball, but it's nice to see a player in her first game prepared to actually just put the bit between her teeth and have a run. Yeah, that's Claremont. You hear just starting to come out underneath us now.
Well, the team talk clearly from Di Loretto maybe have gone slightly over time, Clint, because East Fremantle have completed a full warm-up and the Tigers have just stepped out as the siren sounded.
Well, let's just say that they probably did their warm-up in the room. Are we allowed to say that? No, Dealer, one of the more calm and polite speakers, asked a lot of questions and probably just had a bit of a discussion about maintaining their levels of intensity. Probably, there's no doubt he's talking about some deeper entries, and Jono's been sort of sitting on the edge of a chair at different times.
Interesting career that he's had in coaching, the WAFC Women's State Academy, but he's worked with Warwick Greenwood back in 2015, coached a team that had a 222-point win. That's the biggest win I've ever heard.
He put himself on late too. Just snuck himself on forward late.
I've heard about it a lot.
Oh, there you go.
He's actually State 18's defensive coach over the last 2 years as well. He coached in West Perth Footy Club's development programs as a younger man too. 3 knee rebuilds makes a good coach. He's got one more than me, so he must be a better coach.
The inaugural competition, we rave about how good it is completing the pathway for female players in WA, but it also opens wonderful doors for coaches as well.
It does, and that's the thing is the coaches, I think, have started to realise that they're actually coaching at the state league level, that they've been seeking opportunities to be promoted and ascend the ladder of the talent coaching pathway. This is it.
So we are underway, the third term. How will the Tigers stand up? The Sharks with that late goal. They go forward first. The Tigers through Colgate, kicks up towards centre half forward. The Sharks usher the ball out the back of the pack and they come crashing in. The umpire swallowing the whistle this time, allowing them to play a little bit more. Series of hand passes get swatted down. Colgate again, her second possession, gave it straight to a teammate that was immediately set upon. So the kick around the corner from Ursek. She was great in that second term. Tumbling ball could go through. Has it been touched on the line?
I think it's through.
We've had some massive contenders for goal of the year. That's another one.
And who is it?
Urseg.
Urseg out of nowhere.
Now, not to take it away from Leah Ursig, because she attacked the footy and she went long in and deep into the forward 50. I would love to see Chloe Colgate on that fast break just have a bounce, because I reckon she could have got it to 30. But Leah says, stop mucking around at the top of 50. Let's just get this long and deep.
We'll try and get another view of it if we can. But that was literally out of nowhere. An opportunistic goal to Leah Ursig, who was superb in that second term. And trying to pile on those repeat inside 50s in that second term. Finally gets a bit of reward for effort as the players reset. And let's have another look at this goal. So a couple of hand passes were chopped down. The kick around the corner just from outside, well, just inside 50, vacant square, and the Sharks defender not being able to usher it through. So that is the goal of the day, hands down. So questions now asked to the Sharks. This is Wong. That kicks her inside 50. Overrunning the footy there, the Tigers defender. So Gomes tries to get on to the scene. Can she gather that now? Surely in the back, and the umpire agrees. So the Sharks immediately trying to lift in their response at the moment. And the chance now for their second, maybe just out of her range.
Definitely out of her range. She'll just try to get a bit of elevation on this. She actually looks like she's trying to connect.
Yep.
I think she'll just try and get up and under. Well, there's no representation in the square, so she's just holding on to this footy.
So the ground almost bathed in shadows. Gives it off by hand. Tapner just steps around the tackle and then gives it away. So maybe the percentage play was to load up and just hit the top of that square. It didn't come for the Sharks. So Colgate, can she gather again? She's wrapped up in the tackle. She's had 3 possessions in this term, and Wong, I've been impressed with her tackling, Clint, around the ground.
Very strong, very fast, Wongi, but that clearing kick there was from Leah Ursig. Wongi uses her speed really well. Massive amount of touch footy in her background. One
down by Rue, and kick back inside 50. One-on-one contest up towards the hot spot. Good forward tackling pressure there from the Sharks in Bowie, and forcing the ball up.
Smart there from McDonald. She knew she was tackled as soon as she grabbed the ball, so she didn't try and squirt the ball out and let it go to ground, just held it in and went for the ball up.
So Bowie nominates in the ruck, but outpointed by Laurie. Out towards the right forward pocket and out of play. Catalano failing to keep the ball alive there, so we'll have another reset, a chance for the Tigers to reorganise in their back half. 3-5 to 1 straight. And you feel the game's in the balance at the moment. 18-minute quarters, no time on. Tigers, long clearing kick outside to a 2-on-1. Rising high was Rue. Now she can run to 48. Elects not to blaze away. Disciplined play and just peeled off the kick and into the arms there of Bowie, who'll go back from a sharp angle, but definitely a gettable goal.
Just giving herself open it up nicely too. Had a couple of options inside as well. Ash Atkins, sort of 40 out. Directly in front, but Bowie's a solid strike of the footy for goal.
Coming off the long run too. Here's Bowie. They need this, the Sharks. That won't have the distance. It was off hands and through the big sticks, but only for a minor score. So the first blemish for the Sharks, 1-1. They trail 3-5. We've got 14 minutes remaining in this third term.
Just in the foot to shin ratio. A little high in shin.
High in shin on that one, maybe. Just didn't get under it.
That could be a new stat, Clint. We could be breaking new ground here.
We've all used a bit of a shin before. Ashley Atkins, intercept mark and along to the square.
So the ball will sit up. No marks taken at the front. Crumbs gathered. Vacant square. How will it bounce? Awkwardly. Wong on the scene. Could you keep the ball alive? She's rapidly running out of tarmac. Pushed off there. Brilliant stuff there from Colgate. Now they've won it, the Tigers, so they kick up towards the broadcast wing. Wong's going back with a flight of the ball, and that pitches, and I'm sure that the Sharks will be happy with that result. So, in fact, no, it's going to be a free kick, obviously. So they are happy with that. They will get the ball.
This is Sharks now building their repeat entries, Jono. So it's just 5 or 6 in a row now, and you know the damn wall starts to bulge under this kind of pressure.
Hayley O'Donnell will bring the ball back into play. Over the head there of the stretching arm of Tinson. And the Sharks cough it up. Here come Claremont. Numbers all blue and white at the moment. Going back with the flight was Inglis Hodge. Couldn't take the mark. Stooping down low was Priestley. Time and under pressure. Kicks out towards the lead of her teammate. Maybe caught one high. The umpire said no. Trying to bust her way through there was Versace. Dumped to the ground. No Pryor.
Good contest there with Garstone and Atkins as well. That's a great matchup, and it's good to see that one play out.
been watching that one for a while now. It's Garstone's putting a lot of work in Atkins.
Colgate, did she dispose of that? The umpire was on the wrong side of that contest if you're a Tigers fan. Orm went without the football. A couple of throws there missed by the umpires, but they've been really good today. Kick partially smothered coming out of defence. Now this is Bonza. Can she ignite something for the Tigers? Spots a teammate. They move the ball quickly out towards Metcalf. Could she try and get around? That was brilliant work there from the Sharks defender in Norrish. Affected that smother. Bursting onto it now is Lewis. Kicks from 50. Up towards the pocket. One-on-one contest. Off hands. Almost in the back there to the Sharks defender, or holding on. Take your pick, and they get the free kick. They breathe a sigh of relief.
You can see why the State Academy program is so excited about Bella Lewis.
So the Sharks bring it out towards Priestley, who's got a bit of space, but she's going to be closed down, so she has to wheel back. Still time to get it onto the right foot. Awkward floating ball up towards her teammate there in Tapner, and out of play.
Really love the way Tapner uses her body there. She's prepared to make contact early. Loves to push and shove on the 45s.
And she has done it a bit today, and she doesn't panic when she's got the ball, I've noticed. She waits and looks for her option. She trusts that she's strong enough to get through it.
Clever tap there from Rue. Straight down to that person in Tapner, who kicks up towards the wing and half forward. We've seen some weird bounces the footy so far. There's Tapner again. Kicks up towards the one-on-one. Who can gather these crumbs? McDonald briefly. High looping hand pass. And Atkins with the forward line pressure there at half forward sees the ball out of play.
You mentioned the Garstone-Atkins matchup. Is that one you would have done, Jono? Would you have lined them up and said, look, Garstone, you're going to run with Atkins today?
I think probably. I think Garstone, she is strong and she uses her body quite well. And I think Atkins is obviously fighting fit at the moment. So I think it's a great matchup. And at the moment, I don't think there's anyone that's winning it.
That was superb from Laurie. Now in the hands of White, who recedes a bit of ground with a hand pass. Only turning it over to Tapner. Kicks up towards centre half for great tackle. Incorrect disposal. Running out of room was Garstone and holding the ball. So fantastic work from Ashley Atkins.
1 point to Atkins on that one.
Yep.
Lovely kick too.
Kicks up towards full forward. Big spoil on the football. Comes down. Trying to track that was Versace. Versace gives it off by hand now towards her teammate. He kicks up towards the square. No numbers there for the Sharks, and the Tigers get the clearance. Comes out towards Colgate. She's come alive in this third term. So numbers over the top, they can go, but the kick's just a little bit long. Tracking back now is Atkins. Atkins inboard hand pass through the hands there of Plushkey. Can she butter up? She doesn't in this occasion, but Bird does instead. So kicks up towards the contest at right half forward. Players come crashing in. Colgate again. Busts through, but a bit of a dangerous hand pass. Back in towards the middle of defensive 50. Good forward line pressure from Catalano. High shot. So a little overzealous, giving away the free kick. And the Tigers again repel the forward entry. That's an interesting kick. Out towards the broadcast side. Roden Zimdal had it jarred loose in the tackle. The Sharks looking to clean up now. That was Versace. Off by hand now to Dan. Dan kicks up towards a one-on-one. Good spoil on the footy there from the Tigers defender. They're still getting numbers around. Great forward line pressure again. Not once, but twice. Snap out of the pack. He's going to clear the out of bounds on the full. But I tell you what, Clint, the Sharks have upped their forward line pressure.
They have, and you can hear, I hope you can almost hear in the FX mic there that Andrew De Loretto's it looks like Claremont's plan is to play this side of the ground, but the coaching staff are not happy with the repeat use of this side. They've been calling for the switch on the far side of the ground. So playing it at East Fremantle's hands, and East Fremantle have got this game really tied up on this side of the ground.
So the ball again, outside 50. Bonza overran it. They get the clearing kick. Colgate, she's racking up the possessions in this third term. Interesting ball. Must be one now. That was Lewis now. They jar it loose. Wong picks up the crumbs. No advantage, so the ball will come back into the hands of O'Donnell for East Fremantle. Now there's three players in the middle, all on their own. Bit of time to operate. Can they not butcher it this time? Well done, Bonza. Just courageously went in, won that 50-50 ball. Out towards the wing now. Good, strong body work. That was brilliant work from Lewis. Won the footy there. Over towards White now. Now White's corralled. Good chase and tackle there from Norrish. Back now into the hands of Bonza. Just slips the would-be tackler inside to Colgate. Where can she go? Great composure. Tigers now using the 1-2 in the middle of the ground. Priestley with a front-on tackle. Affects the turnover. And some great skills right under our noses here on the broadcast wing from both teams. So a low-scoring game, but action aplenty at the moment. Defensive mark drop from the Tigers player. Spun in the tackle there from the Sharks player in Dan. And no prior. Another ball up. We get a chance for a breather.
Some hot footy there, and good to see the girls not panicking and throwing the handballs away and trying to hit targets.
And taking the game on as well. It makes for good viewing. So there's Wong just dumping her opponent there. Hurried kick around the corner from Tinson. Trying to track back the football there. Now the Sharks have the numbers. Hand pass now in towards the Sharks player who's wrapped up in a good tackle again. Can Orm keep the ball alive? No, she can't.
Panic stations there for Claremont because Sprillian very quick when she gets onto the other side between the contest and the goal. There's a couple of little scares the Claremont Tigers have had there between the speed of Wong Atkins and that time through Sprillian.
So I did call her a Spryland, so apologies to her. She watches this game back, no doubt, afterwards. Sprillian.
Unless you're the only commentator that's ever got it right, and we've just corrected you.
Possibly. We'll go with the former, however. Good, strong mark. That's the number 9 in Lewis. She's having a good turn. Kicks up over the outstretched hands there of her teammate in Garstone. Sharks again, broadcast side, up towards O'Sullivan. Did she take the mark inside the paint? She did. Interesting look over the corner there from Lewis over her shoulder, but the umpire was right on the scene. So O'Sullivan, that's a poor kick from a talented player in the AFLW ranks, turning the ball over. So awkward kick up towards the broadcast wing. Catalano locking horns there with Stewart in the back, or a hold. And going the way of the Tigers. So Catalano infringing.
Just Jazzy's doing a lot of...
Wasn't happy with that one.
She's doing a lot of hard work early, so it's frustrating her opposition. She's getting great body position.
Important ball to be won from both teams, right in the middle of the ground. That was Urseg hooking the ball out. Now, they could be out here, the Tigers. How will the ball sit for Robinson? She's got a teammate over the top. That'll be Metcalf trying to converge there, but she's going to be beaten to that footy by Plushkey. Can she gather it? Still under pressure there from Metcalf. That's almost dropping the football. Umpire didn't agree, so the Sharks can clear. And kicking up now down that line, up towards O'Sullivan, taken without it. The umpire says play on. 3-on-1. The numbers favouring the Sharks at the moment. So the umpire swallowed the whistle in this term. Hacked out of the air from O'Sullivan, but only onto the chest of a Tigers opponent. And the ball will come back. Indiscriminate kick. Now the Sharks could be out. They could play this slingshot footy now as Tapner marks. Now she's got 50 metres in front of her. Has a bounce. Now probably should have done better with that kick. Asked a lot of her teammate that's got to try and gather that ball. Well done there from Atkins. Atkins now over towards the run there of Tinson. Tinson's about to be set upon now by Goodwin Wissink. Well done, Goodwin Wissink. Stood up strong. She tries to evade the tackler. Was there prior opportunity there? No. Said the umpire. Interesting.
Bit lucky, I think, on that one.
Yeah.
Maybe just player that wanted the footy.
Just wanted it harder and rewarding that.
Don't want to punish it.
One down by Bowie. Claremont player again pushed off it. Bowie goes in again with a second effort. Pleading for the free kick that's not forthcoming. I think the umpires have been superb.
They have.
And not falling to the trap of the classic arms in the air.
Yep.
As well.
Oh, strong, heavy clash there between Wong and an opponent. Kick was smothered. Well done there was the number 8 in Hongul. Had to be brave. Bowie on the scene. Off again to Colgate. And Colgate's kick into the fortuitous arms of Scandretti. So she has it. Kicks it beautifully in towards the corridor, onto the chest of Metcalf. So Metcalf assesses her options. There's a couple out wide. And she goes there now, leaves the kick dangerously hanging. Might turn out okay now for the Tigers as Urseg kicks them forward. Through the hands there of the forward in white. Ball at ground level, trying to track it back there was Plushkey. What can she do? She stands up brilliantly. Well done. Out towards Tapner. So Tapner running out of room at right half back. Just steps around the would-be tackler there of Urseg. Kicks up towards Wong. Had it spoiled away from her clutches by Valentini. Kicks inside 50. 2-on-1 favouring the Sharks, but into the arms there of Metcalf. Metcalf somehow got it out. Looking for the teammate there in white. Can she gather? No, she's corralled. Quick hand pass back through towards Metcalf. And players go to ground. Action is coming thick and fast, but still we're waiting for more goals on the scoreboard, but still entertaining.
Obviously the length been owned by the Sharks for almost 15 minutes. Claremont have the chance to control the game from here.
So another ball up, 3-5 to 1-1, and we're inside 2.5 minutes.
Lovely little attempted nutmeg from Metcalf, wasn't it?
So ball back up, one down by White. Only towards Sharks player who kicks up towards one, but she's outnumbered and outmarked by Urseg. Kicked that freak goal earlier, just looks to just chip over the top. Brilliant. That was superb, perfectly weighted kick, and coming out is Metcalf.
Is this the best Claremont have used Metcalf with her hit up, Jono?
I think so, and they've only really hit her up 2 or 3 times, but if she just keeps coming at the foot and the players just lower their eyes, I think she'll get plenty more of that throughout the season.
So this could almost be catastrophic for the Sharks because they've had a lot of the possession and a lot of territory for no reward on the scoreboard. Comes in deliberately. Beautiful right foot drop punt is there. And that will break the spirit of the Sharks because that was a superb finish and reward. Their 4th of the afternoon. 4-5, the Tigers 29, leading the Sharks 1-1-7, and that could almost be crushing.
Most organised, I think, that Claremont have been in there today.
Yep.
Didn't panic with the kick in from Leah Urseg again, and it was a great kick. And then Chloe Metcalf she knows how to kick goals, and from that range, it's no issue.
You can see how elated she was too, because she just stood there like nothing had happened at all, and just one of her eyes sort of had a little bit of a twinkle in it. That's just pure joy on Metcalf's face. It's pretty. Like
she doesn't show a lot of emotion, but she definitely feels it.
She's a gunslinger. She's just cool and calm. Lovely foot strike. Dickie's got that front end really organised.
So a late goal to the Tigers restores their big lead. We're inside the last 30 seconds of this third term. And it looks as though we'll have another stalemate just adjacent to the bullseyes here at Claremont Oval. Matt Chechens, Emily Johnston and Clint Degebrot here. We hope you're enjoying the coverage of this round 5 fixture. There is another game to complete round 5 tomorrow as Peel will host Subiaco down in Mandurah. Free kick picked out of that scrum for the Sharks, and no time unless she can unleash a 120-metre torpedo. Well, we turn for home. It is 3/4 time and probably the most entertaining term of this third term. We didn't see many goals, but plenty of action in the middle of the ground. It is the Tigers with a handy lead, 5-5-35 to the Sharks, 1-1-7. Clint, sum up that action. The Sharks clearly will be disappointed with that late goal to the Tigers.
Yeah, probably made the same mistakes as Claremont. Just plenty of inside 50s. Got a little bit shallow. Obviously, that's good work defensively in the first quarter by East Fremantle to do it to Claremont. Now, Claremont's been able to return the favour. East Fremantle boxed the game up beautifully then, actually just brought their U-shape in, had the big umbrella behind the footy, just couldn't quite just get it through the big sticks, just a couple of fumbles, a couple of drop marks, and a little too cute at different times, trying to do little connections when sometimes just the long ball in helps.
An early goal would probably see the Sharks still in this game, Jono?
I think so, yeah. They have the ability to score quickly. They are as we said, they've scored the most amount of goals this year, so I wouldn't write them off just yet.
Well, don't go anywhere. We will have all the action of this fourth quarter here from Claremont Oval. It is the Tigers by just under 5 goals. We'll be right back with all the action of the fourth quarter very shortly.
If you need it live streamed, you need Front Row Screens. Visit frontrowscreens.com.au.
Nature knows it's better to be part of a group than out on your own. To be surrounded by others whose sole purpose is to keep you safe and well. At Bupa, we call it Members First. A network of thousands of healthcare providers, all there for you. Search Bupa Members First.
It's a high ball.
Don't you diddle, don't you daddle, you better skedaddle. You need to run for your life. Well, like Virginia Creeper, well, didn't want to keep her, just maybe for a while. You're lately in a hurdling
great to be back in the West. I've obviously been over in Sydney for a couple of years and to be home in the nice weather and even better in the blue and gold is fantastic. Yeah, I was an inaugural part of the Giants squad in the first year, so been over there for the last 3 years and I guess experienced what it's like to be part of a new team and building something from the ground. So we've got time now, we're in the competition, we can build towards something really special, and I think that comes off the back of the first couple of years and just creating somewhere that everyone wants to be and play some good footy.
Welcome back to Claremont Oval, where it is three-quarter time, and an adjustment to the scoreboard here at Claremont Oval as well. We did call that the Tigers were leading 5-5. In fact, it is 4-5-29 to the Sharks 1-1-7. So that margin, 22 points in favour of the home side. They led by 8 points at quarter time, 11 points in the second term, and extended that out to 22 points with a very late goal. The goal kickers so far, Emily Bonza, Chloe Metcalf, Leah Urseg and Brooke White for the home team. And the lone goal kicker for the Sharks was Ashley Gomes. So not out of it entirely. 22 points is the biggest of the afternoon. Matt Chechen's here alongside Emily Johnston and Clint Degebrot. And Jono, as we said, the Sharks definitely not out of it, but they need to get a goal probably within the first 3 to 4 minutes of this fourth term.
Yeah, they want to run something, get the first clearance immediately. None of this repeat stoppages. They want to get it out, get it forward quickly, take advantage of the one-on-one and see if they can get one early and make this game interesting.
Clint, more inside 50s in that term comprehensively of the Sharks. However, the Tigers punishing them in the scoreboard, particularly with that late goal.
Just a little cute, the Sharkies. I think the long ball in dead centres. I think they'll be trying to land a few 30 metres out directly in front through this quarter. They'll attempt to fan out, I think, and run, and they'll try to get it to either track 4 or track 1, depending on where the ball is, and they'll try and just run and carry here, I assume, once they can get control of the footy. Claremont have been doing that already all day, and I think they'll try to continue to do the same thing.
As we're just having a look at some of the strong tackling again, it was on display there, and the Sharks, again, better ball use around the ground, but as Clint said, they were butchering that final kick inside 50, and Wong had a pretty good term.
What I like about the tackling in this game in particular is the acceptance of the tackle by the person that's going to take the contact. Yep. It's been a tacit agreement just to accept that contact. It's coming, it's big, and I'm just going to wear it. It's been really impressive.
And I think that's been something missing from female football in the past, is that no one likes getting the contact, but as their bodies get stronger and they start to trust them a bit more, they know they can push back, take it and use it better.
And you're far safer being tackled when you've got a bit of power in your legs and your body. There's been a couple of people hit the ground pretty hard, and I don't think we've seen Brooke Ursig since half time after she was tackled fiercely. But for the most part, when we've both got energy going through the ball, equal energy going through the contest, you can keep yourself relatively safe.
So as you can see, gloomy conditions at the moment, still ideal for football. Comfortable weather at the moment as the grandstand lights begin to illuminate here at Claremont Oval, and we are underway for this fourth term. A lot of work for the Sharks to do. They've got a lot of quality, particularly in the middle of the ground. How will they respond? One down by Laurie. First goal's crucial if you're a Shark supporter, as Atkins tries to get them going, kicking up towards the non-broadcast wing. Hongul on the scene there, and can't extract the football. In fact, it will be now by the Sharks. That was Tapner kicking up to a one-on-one. Great mark. Strong work there.
Lara Harris, I think that was. Been strong there all day.
So moves it out laterally. This is Hongul. There'll be no rush. Just steps around the Sharks player. Through the hands there of the player leading up. That was Dickey. Ball now at ground level. Hacked around the corner from Atkins. Couple of early touches for her. Now off towards Tapner. She had a good third term, kicking up towards full forward. Mark was taken there on the stretch from Rue. Gives it off by hand now. Can she show the composure? She does. So the Sharks get the first of this fourth term. And it's Sprillian who was there after some fantastic work from Rue. A great stretching mark and the awareness to just fire it off to Sprillian into the vacant goal square, Clint.
Out to track 4, get away from the traffic and then just run as hard as you can. Roxanne Rue, surprised that she's played on so quickly, but obviously had a plan.
Yep.
Seems like
time's of the essence at the moment, but that brings the margin back now to just 17 points. In fact, it's 16 points. I need to brush up on my mental maths.
I'll just leave that to you, mate. Get my calculator out.
So Sprillian gets her first of the afternoon, and that's just what they ordered. The Sharks, can they get another one? They are coming off the bye. You think they might have the fresher legs. A tough game last week for Claremont against Subic. Local derby as the ball comes up. One down by Laurie. Wong on the scene. And good strong work there from Bonza applying the tackle.
And Atkins equal to the measure too. Two went out. That was going to be rock on rock.
Ball comes back up. One down there by Bowie. Sharks looking to try and extract this football. Bit of a bouncing ball out there for Versace. She overran it, so that allowed Colgate to swing on to the right boot. No mark taken there by the Sharks. They need to start clinging on to those if they want to stand any chance at the moment. So 50-50 ball. That'll be gathered there by White. Kicks out towards right half forward. Bit of time and space, but there was an awkward bounce there for Lewis. Lewis tries to go again with a secondary tackle. The Sharks a little bit fumbly in the middle of the ground. Oh, well done. That was brilliantly gathered there by Inglis. Hodge off to a teammate. Can kick him up towards half forward, but Paris Laurie using her experience, taking the chest mark and then slipping on the grass. So floodlights starting to illuminate Claremont Oval. Kicking now is Garstone and out of play and off hands, says the boundary umpire, so they'll throw it in.
Interesting to play on there from Garstone after that little catch. He must have thought it was touched on the way.
Or not far enough, because it was a short kick.
She's putting a heap of work into Versace now.
It's an important ball in now. As Laurie won it down. And almost into the back there of the opponent was Stewart, but the umpire deemed that tackle to be legal on Bowie. Rather, that was Tinson's, and the ball comes back up. Atkins, what can she do? Slung dangerously in the tackle, but no, said the umpire. And again, we just continue with these strong tackling. Interested that wasn't a free kick, Jono?
Yeah, I don't like the sling tackles, and sometimes you've wrapped them up. You don't need to throw them on the ground, so a bit unlucky there.
So Roxanne Roux really starting to come to the fore at the moment. Just peels off the kick a little too long there for the teammate in Sprillian. Ball's going to end up in the hands there of Versace. Kicks up towards a vacant square. How will it bounce kindly for the Tigers? Just didn't get enough purchase on that. And they can repel. Now, they could be out now. So a vacant block out there for Dickey. She's got an eternity to just sit on that football. Beautifully weighted kick. That was a poor attempt at the overhead mark. Probably should have been taken, and that'll open the door now for the Sharks. So they'll come back inside 50, kick over the head there of the teammate, but they've still got the run of the footy at the moment. Bodies come crashing in. The Sharks really desperate to try and get this second goal of the term. Still in dispute. Can the ball be extracted from this contest? No, it can't. And the umpire calls for the footy and setting up another important stoppage.
We haven't had forward 50 entries in this game. We've had forward 50 dynasties.
How will they stand up now? The Tigers' defence again. They'd be happy just for that clock. Remember, no time added on, just 18-minute terms.
East Fremantle, 3 players free behind the footy here, just being manned up now by the forwards pushing up to cover them off, because that's been the strength of East Fremantle with the ball in their 50.
12 and a half minutes remain in the contest. Can the Sharks get something going here through Dan?
Oh.
That kick has gone and bounced at a most outrageous angle into the padding of the right-hand post. The Tigers dodge a bullet.
Bit of Nathan Lyon.
Yep, you'd like to see that.
And that's a bit of not Nathan Lyon, off the foot of Goodwin Wissig.
More like Chris Gale, up 3 tiers.
Yeah, just about went into the apartments.
So the Sharks, they just look to set up again, and the mark's taken in the forward pocket. This is Kat Dan. 4 goals so far in 2019. So she's going back with intent and a chance for the first time this afternoon for the East Fremantle Sharks to post back-to-back goals. Huge kick in the context of this game. Gets close to the person on the mark, and that kick will fail to register a score. And Claremont looking to run out of defence now. In on the scene is Catalano. Clean possession, a must here for the Tigers. Player goes without it. Almost a high shot there from the Tigers. They feed it off by hand. Player ducks the head into the tackle, but it's high. So they earn the free kick. That's Versace. I thought she ducked her head. The umpire disagreed, and she will go back, and a chance to kick back-to-back goals, as we said earlier. From bang in front, absolute not a breath of air here.
Doesn't have a massive kick, Versace. She's got a good straight kick. She's probably within range, but lacks a little penetration with her field kicking.
So Versace kicks on goal, and
Beautiful kick.
dare I say it, a stylish kick from Versace straight over the goal umpire's hat, and
With
back-to-back
great-
goals for the Sharks.
With good penetration.
I've marked him down for 2, curse of the commentators, but that was in reverse.
Oh, don't say. I've got a few off air as well.
Yep.
Nah, great kick from Versace. That probably shows the strengths of her game from probably early last year. This year I haven't seen her unload like that. So it's very, very nice to see her get comfortable behind the footy. I actually backed Dan in too in my head. I thought she was a very big chance from where she was.
I did, but I was looking at the coaching box next to us, and Nikki Harwood had her hands over her face, so I don't think she was too confident in that one.
Yeah, we are very close to the Sharkies coaching box.
Almost halfway through this final term, and it's been all one way, blue and white. Can the Sharks kick 3 goals unanswered? In fact, no team has done that throughout the afternoon. So everything's against them at the moment, but they've got those fresh legs, as we said, coming off the bye. Bowie just ushered Laurie under the football, rather. He forced another stoppage through Wong, who's an absolute tackling machine in the middle of the ground. So Laurie going in vigorously again. O'Sullivan, what can she try and rip it out of the hands of her opponent? Unbelievable basketballer. Converting back to the football was Gabby O'Sullivan. And again, we can't extract the football. And Claremont will be happy with this, Jono, at the moment. Just repeat stoppages just to chew a bit more valuable time off the clock.
Yeah, and just not letting East Fremantle have that run as well. They'll probably want to jam it up.
Tracking back there for the Tigers. Here's Garstone kicking out to a vacant block now. If that's not going to be touched, it'll be a free kick. They should get over there. This is Bonza. Bonza through the intended tackle there of Tapner. Loops the hand pass over the top towards Ursek. She's been brilliant this afternoon. That's a good mark. She was outnumbered 2-on-1 there was Brooke White, a goal kicker today, and just looks to just waste a little bit more time. Brings it in board now. This is Laurie. Liked her game throughout the afternoon. Consistent. And she just peels off the little kick. And this is good play now from the Tigers. This is Stewart. Stewart looks to drill that ball. Bit of an awkward tumbling kick inside 50. You sense a goal here for the Tigers. Could almost shut the door. And we're not going to get it in this entry, however, as the Sharks mop up in the last line of defence. And they'll bring it out wide. Interesting ball. That ball hung a long time, but a good mark in the end is taken on that far side. I think that was Gomes. And she looks rather sore getting up to her feet. Maybe some blood. In fact, it's Norrish, so not crediting her with the mark. So kicking up towards the far side. Crashing in hard there was Sprillian and giving away the free kick. So a little overzealous. And Stewart earning the rightful free kick. 3 kicks from home. Game starting to slow down now as the physical contest is starting to be absorbed by the bodies. Just inside the forward 50 paint now for the Tigers. Quick hand pass out for the Sharks now. And they could be away on this broadcast side. We'll see how the ball sits up. Well done there. Brilliant stuff from the Tigers in big collision and a high shot. So not sure who the player is down on the floor. She's not looking all the best. No, she'll get up now. Yeah, Hongel. Yeah. One of the best on ground last week, as we said earlier in the call against Subi. And standing up strong there. 7 minutes and change remaining in the contest. Tigers looking to put the final nail in the coffin. High shot and going the way of the Sharks. So they're starting to get those 50-50 free kicks now and earning them. So Tapner getting on with it. Kicks in towards the middle of the ground. This is Bowie. A lot of numbers broadcast side. They'll hang it up. And a poor kick in the end, and well read by Colgate. Intercepting for the Tigers. Colgate chipping down the line. And the mark taken. Bit of cramp setting in also. Valentini. So Valentini has it at right half forward. 4-on-1 favouring the Sharks. They managed to win the football. This is Inglis Hodge down the line. Again, Colgate rising high, couldn't take the mark. O'Sullivan using her pace and her strength, paddling to her own advantage. That was brilliant. Now she's kicked up towards a one-on-one. Now how will it sit for Sprillian? Can she evade this would-be tackler in Harris? She overran it. Well done, Harris. Fed it off. Maybe taken higher there was Hongul. The umpire's letting them play. O'Sullivan tries to grab the football. They tie it up and a ball up. Tell you what, Clint, that was an important contest. The 50-50 ball that could have seen East Fremantle back inside 50.
Watch Catalano just break from the bench, and she was 25 metres out. Any clean ball work there was a goal to the Sharks.
Big swinging right arm from Orm. Now she'll have to go back. Gathers the crumbs, feeds it off to Bonza. Uncharacteristic fumble from her. Can the Sharks try and get something out of this? Not at this stage. High. Well, they will. They get the free kick. And it's going the way of Wong, so she wastes no time. Looking for O'Sullivan. Will that mark be paid? No, it came off the defender. Good call. The umpire was right there and rightfully calls for the ball up. So O'Sullivan trying to dupe the umpire, and he was having none of it.
Worked for Brendan Cox last week.
Ball comes up. Bowie wins it down. O'Sullivan. Was she legged? No. Wong tries to spin her way through. It was set upon there by Lewis. Crumbs spill out the back now. Numbers favouring the Tigers at the moment. However, the ball's sharked there, no pun intended, by Catalano across the face of goal. A minor score. They keep chipping away at this lead. So 3-3 now. The Sharks move to the Tigers 4-5. That margin just 8 points. Inside 5 minutes remaining.
East Fremantle set up beautifully here. Very, very difficult for Claremont to get a transition. They'll have to really play some slow ball. A little short over on the far side of the ground with Orm.
So the Tigers will bring it in short, into the back pocket, looking to play on.
Oh.
Just stepping around was Colgate. Well done. That's a dangerous kick. Could be chopped off. Dropping the mark was Catalano. How's her second effort? Ball's not going to sit kindly for her. The Tigers hurriedly kick it out. They don't manage to rebound, repel this attack just yet. Important ball to be won. The Tigers getting numbers there. They kick up, all on a lonesome out on the outer side, but dropping the mark, the Tigers player. How will the Sharks play this? Can they get it forward again? No. Again, strong tackling. Brilliant work done there from the number 24 and Dickey, and forces another stoppage. 4 minutes remain.
Happy birthday for yesterday, Alana Dickey. 29 years of age.
Ball now in the hands of the Sharks, and that was an interesting kick on that preferred side, and now the Tigers can rebound. However, that kick's going to fall short and into the grateful arms of Selby. So Selby chipping it further forward now. This is Priestley. What can she do? Spots a teammate. Good, strong hands. Good build-up play now for the Sharks. Tigers just scrambling to get numbers back behind this contest. Interesting kick. 2-on-1 favouring the Tigers. They'll win this contest again. And they repel, kicking out to vacant land out on the non-broadcast side. Stops, props, good vision inside. However, the kick again dropped by the Tigers. Tiger player tries to crash her way through. Is that going to be holding the ball? Trying to bust her way through was Dickey. And prior opportunity. So the Sharks, they waste no time. Back inside 50. That's an awkward floating ball. Juggled attempt. Sharks on the scene. That was Rue wrapped up. And another stoppage. And we're inside 3 minutes. Enough time for 2 goals, you think, Clint?
There is, because they can get one immediately and they can break the centre. They've got their A-grade mids in, or they will. So Claremont have to hold strong here. One mark, I reckon. One connecting kick out of here where they go to outlet, and Claremont probably can breathe for a bit, struggling to get that catch.
So the kick going very, very wide. It's going to come back with interest now. The Sharks, this is sort of last chance saloon time, and that's a poor kick. And in on the scene again for the Tigers, taking that defensive mark. And that's an interesting kick, but it's effective to Urseg.
These next
now
two
Urseg's about to be set upon. She didn't realise that she was being snuck up on, and the Sharks win the free kick. So Gomes kicked one in that first term. Well, not in the first term, rather in the second term. They didn't score on the first term. So this is an important kick. Maybe outside her limit, particularly with heavy legs. Can the Sharks get a mark? Not this time. Rue around the corner and misses. Hooking. 3 goals for that margin now. 7 points. 1:44 remains in the contest, Joe.
Spring Hill Jack in there, Roxanne Rue. But unfortunately for Leah Ursig on this, as she tried to clear there, just wanted to have a play 20 metres in front and just didn't have it.
Yeah, they were all within 5 metres of her, and none of them spoke to her other to let her know.
So 1 minute and 25 seconds remain. Going the measure. A couple of marks will kill the game for the Tigers, or one big clearing kick. Trying to spin a way through there was Priestley. Was there prior opportunity? No, says the ump. The Tigers will have that any day of the week. 1:10. Another stoppage. No one forward of the Bullseyes on the ground, and rightfully so. The Tigers trying to just lock this up. They come forward again, this time off the right boot of Versace. The Sharks need a mark. Off at ground level. Now there's a free kick going the way of the Sharks. So they win it. It'll go to Rue, probably one of the best set shots in the comp, but only 50 seconds. So she has to go back, puts it on the right boot and pumps it through. So we're down to 42 seconds. The clock will continue to run, and that margin now just 1 point.
Wow, Roxanne Rue just showing how valuable she is to the competition.
Yep.
Just had the wherewithal just to make sure she got on with her kick too. I'm not sure she's 18 yet.
No.
Very, very mature head.
Yeah, and has been the difference, I think, for East Fremantle in this quarter, putting her up forward.
So the leading goal kicker of the competition gets her 8th and leaves it very late, but you would suggest...
We're not going to get a clearance.
There's not going to be enough time, so only 10 seconds remain. The Tigers just ambling back towards the contest. What an absolute valiant fight back it was from the Sharks, but it will be the Tigers who prevail. Siren sounds. The Sharks throw their arms up in dismay, but they really fought back in that fourth term, falling just 1 point short. We have to congratulate the Tigers. They've managed to stand up when it counted. They had forced a lot of stoppages in that fourth term, and rightfully winners today, would you say, Clint?
Oh, absolutely. Did all the work early. Probably hurt themselves without a stronger lead. Although, having said that, probably East Fremantle squandered a little bit of time with the footy up front in the third. So the game could have easily been 9-8 at the end. A very entertaining game, very strongly fought game. Andrew De La Reta, is that two? It's a 1 point, a 4 point, and a 1 point victory over the last 3 games. He's got a full head of lovely dark blonde hair. We'll see how quickly that turns grey if his team keeps going this way.
So the Sharks kicked 3 goals, 3, Jono, and hold Claremont scoreless in that fourth term, but just couldn't get over the line.
We knew they were going to fight. They hadn't really played the game on their terms the entire game, and I think they had nothing to lose in that last quarter. So they just threw everything at it. A few strategic moves, putting Versace forward, Atkins in the middle, Rue forward, and it almost paid off for them.
Well, it unsettled Garstone too, because she didn't know who to lock onto. She tried to lock onto Versace, but then she was still aware of how dangerous those mids were coming down, so it caused a little bit of confusion in the Claremont back 5. And it's the kind of thing you'd expect from Nikki Harwood and her team. She's got Joe Beachy in there, and Simon Quayle and Ellie Lampkin. It's a pretty high-quality little group.
So Claremont now have won 3 on the trot. I won't ask you, you might be slightly one-eyed, but could they be a premiership threat?
Yes, they can.
Yep.
So we talked off air about who they've got to come back, and we named a couple of players. We didn't name Matilda Sargent. Throw Sargent into that midfield group there, and all of a sudden, they're one of the strongest groups around. They've got Emily Bennett at West Perth too, plays at Rogers Cup. She can come in and run across a half-back flank too. So I think this team that ran around on the park out here now is going to get stronger.
Yeah, and it'd be tough to pick best on ground today, particularly for the Tigers' point of view.
Oh, I really, really liked. I think Leah Ursig for me was the best of field within both sides. As we just watched this fantastic tradition. I hope this never ends. When I played footy 100 years ago, it was very collegial at the end of the game, and you had a drink with the umpires after. Female footballers retain that nice feel. Leah Ursig, I think, was the difference between the two teams. She was kicking out. She was intercept marking on the last line. She's kicked a goal. She's marking back behind the footy. Tackle pressure was really good.
Yep.
She had a lot of friends too. Kate Olm in the first half was sensational. I think Stewart got better and better. Bonza was strong across the journey.
Chloe Colgate stood up. She was very consistent across 4 quarters today.
Chloe Colgate is one of the highest skilled players with ball in hand. Her and Kelly Gibson just lacks the fitness to be able to do what she did in that quarter across 4 quarters. If she decides that she wants to play AFLW, she will. It's in her hands. She's a solid quality user of the footballer. Very, very clean as well. So she came into Tapner for East Freya. Was just delicious.
What did the Sharks take out of this loss? I mean, silver lining to every cloud. It's early on in the season. We spoke about their potent forward line and obviously the best defensive record, but sometimes a loss can really spark a team.
Best team on paper, I think, pound for pound in the competition. Nikki Harwood won't be too upset. She'll show some things that'll prove her right. You know, when we do this, it works. See, when we don't do that, it doesn't. So there'll be a bit of vision for her to share in terms of, you know, when we get back behind the football and form the U shape, we win or we're successful, and when we don't, we're not successful. So it'll be a matter of, for the Sharkies in their review, to be, you know, let's do what works more, and if it doesn't work, let's throw it away. 2 weeks off now for the Sharks. That's a lot of time to not be playing competitive football, albeit some of these players obviously playing in that showpiece game next week with the WAFLW All-Stars taking on the WA AFLW 18s team. But that's a long time in between drinks, so to speak.
Yeah, I don't think they will rest, though. I think next weekend there'll be something for those players that aren't playing, and the week after they always try to keep them fresh. They might give them 1 week off, but definitely they won't give them the 2. They'll be doing a tough session on that Sunday or that Saturday.
And Swanee's in the same boat, of course, because they've had the bye this weekend, they have the bye next. So a couple of teams get the double bye. I think it's been a thing inside the competition, as it was last year and the year before, that sometimes you go 2 and even 3 weeks without a game, because of course last year it was a 9-10 competition reserves, 8 in the league side. So I think that in terms of our athletes, that's
great vision.
Nice thing for Isabel Lewis. And across the other side, Lily Bird was chaired off the ground in her 50th in the losing side. It's just wonderful to hear. And of course, Ben Howlett, who is the captain of the Peel Thunder Football Club, injured at the moment, is working with the girls up at Peel Thunder, and he says they sing the song on the ground. He wants to bring it back to Waffle Footy.
Let's cop some of the audio. Clint, we could see Jono mouthing the words there. Clearly happy with that win. But look, first game calling with Clint, second time with you. Emily, thanks for your company and your input today. It was a fantastic game to call.
Thank you. Yeah, great game, and love the games that go down to the wire.
Clint Degebrot, thank you so much for your input. It's wonderful to have an insight that you provide us week in and week out.
Thank you.
All right, so just reminding you that round 5 will wrap up tomorrow down in the Peel region in Mandurah. If you're there, get down to see Peel Thunder taking on Subiaco. That's a nice, bright and early bounce, 9:15 a.m. Just reminding you the general bye next week. However, the showcase of talent still comes thick and fast here in WA with the WAFLW All-Stars taking on the WA AFLW 18s team. And then we see round 6, which will be Saturday the 15th of June. Swan Districts will take on the Peel Thunder outfit, and our broadcast game will be Sunday the 15th of June. Subiaco taking on Claremont, another local derby, and also East Fremantle having the bye. On behalf of Emily and Clint, this is Matt Chechen signing off. We look forward to your company in 2 weeks' time, where we will see Subi taking on Claremont. Bye for now.
This WAFLW live stream is proudly brought to you by Optus, proud naming rights partner of the WAFL, and WAFLW, Bupa, proud sponsor of WA football. And the West Coast Eagles, supporting WA female footballers to follow their dreams.